the loss of a Tucson icon, a legendary man who left an indelible mark on this community and on this state, has passed away. Former University of Arizona basketball coach Lute Olson has passed away at the age of 85. Lute Olson came to Tucson in 1983. His mission was to save the struggling basketball program here, taking over a team that had won just 4 games the season before. But the great Lute Olson would do much more than resurrect Arizona basketball. He led the Cats to a national championship, and he transformed the program into one of the best in the nation for decades. Along the way, Coach Olson became an icon that Tucson will never forget. News 4 Tucson Sports Director Paul Cicala shared a unique relationship with the coach, and he joins us live with more from McHale Center. Paul?
Hey John, as you can imagine, it's a very difficult night here on the campus of the University of Arizona and all throughout Tucson, and there's no doubt in my mind that hundreds and hundreds of people over the next few days will be visiting this statue here of Lute Olson at McHale Center, paying tribute to his life. Worldwide, everybody knew Coach Lute Olson as a basketball coach, a guru, one of the best of all time. But right here in the old Pueblo, especially among Tucson natives, people knew him as a caring person, somebody who's dedicated most of his life, especially after basketball, to the community, to Tucson, to the old Pueblo. And of course, people are still pumped up to this day about that national championship he brought us.
By far, the crowning moment in Arizona athletic history was with Lute Olson leading the Wildcats to the 1997 National Championship. Lute Olson is the winningest Arizona basketball coach ever. Over 24 seasons at the U of A, Lute Olson was victorious in 589 games against just 187 losses, and took home 11 Pac-10 championships to go along with leading Arizona to 4 Final Fours. His first Final Four team in 1988 included guard Kenny Lofton, who after hoops ended up playing professional baseball for the Cleveland Indians. I asked Lofton what he'd missed most about Lute Olson.
Just his passion for the game and his teaching. He taught the game very well, and that was one of his main focus when we were practicing and playing. He was always a teacher of the game.
A teacher who, apart from developing scores of players who eventually suited up in pro ball, also influenced future coaches. Former players such as Steve Kerr, Bruce Frazier, and Luke Walton helped coach the Warriors to an NBA title.
You know, this is where it all started for him. He was looking for a place to walk on when he came here.
Almost everything I tried to do at Santa Rosa JC is similar to what Coach Olson did at Arizona, as far as doing things to promote the program, trying to hold players accountable, a lot of the basketball philosophy, get back on D, protect the paint, fundamentals.
This is the basketball town, and keep it that way.
This is Lute Olson at a special ceremony after retiring from coaching in 2008 after leading Arizona to 23 consecutive NCAA tournament appearances. Coach Olson also made an impact worldwide, leading the 1986 USA squad to a FIBA World Championship in Spain. Coach Olson would talk fondly about his USA team that defeated the USSR in the gold medal game. It was the first time the United States had won the World Championship in 32 years. And it was the last amateur basketball team to win an international competition. Even after retirement, he stayed busy in the Tucson community, taking part in the Lute Olson Fantasy Basketball Camp. Exchanges that would bring players from Africa, China, and Mexico to Tucson for goodwill games, and always being more than eager to get up close and personal with die-hard U of A fans. Along with his wife, Kelly, Olson also remained active, helping at-risk youth, including volunteering with the Boys and Girls Club of Tucson.
These kids need help. It's a tough environment now to grow up in, and we need to do all we can to help them.
What's the legacy of Lute Olson?
I mean, he's a legacy. He's went from all these different colleges, thinking Long Beach, then Iowa, then he come to Arizona, and he's been a winner everywhere he's went, and, everywhere he's been, and just his name and his legacy and what he stood for is something that's going to live, for a long time.
A lifetime of memories, multiple decades of giving back to the old Pueblo, and let's not forget Lute Olson's battle cry that'll live forever.
Go Wildcats.
Bear down, Coach Lute Olson. Bear down and rest in peace, my friend. And on a side note, as somebody that was born and raised here in Tucson, somebody who grew up watching the turnaround of the Arizona Wildcats from a losing team to when Lute Olson gets here, and next thing you know, after 1 year, it's NCAA tournament after NCAA tournament, then Final Fours, of course, that national championship. I say thank you as a fan, not just a person that was able to report alongside Lute Olson, but as a fan from right here in the old Pueblo. Also, I might add that, as mentioned, Coach Lute Olson dedicated his retirement to helping out Tucson. He was active in the Boys and Girls Club and other communities as well. He realized that the people of Tucson, even the ones that had nothing to do with basketball, loved him like their own. Coming up a little bit later, we're going to go ahead and check in, and obviously there's hundreds of people that are probably going to make it to this makeshift memorial right here with the statue here of Lute Olson at McHale Center. Already there's dozens of people gathering around, candles being lit, prayers being said. We've got you covered from McHale Center. Paul C. Kalla, News 4, Tucson.